Welcome to the I'm Doing Great podcast. This is another episode. I'm Mike. That's Gina over there.
Here. Look at my desk, guys. I got some trinkets.
If you're seeing an image behind me, that's because I'm shooting in front of a green screen. If you see the green screen behind me, that is because I fucked up somewhere along the way. And you're going to have to deal with that. But there should be a photo back there. I'd like to introduce our guest for this episode number 16. It's an even number. We've got the brilliantly talented, the loquacious,
the very shy. He's a shy one. He's a quiet one.
Gina, why don't you introduce him?
Bryson Gray, everybody.
Let's get it. Shy indeed.
I'm so excited Bryson's here. He's a friend of mine. I met him through, I think, just the Blexit world, right? And I don't think there are very few people online that make me laugh more than Bryson makes me laugh. Because this guy, he just doesn't care. He just says anything, everything, all the time. And here's the funny thing about Bryson is that you'll see this today too. The way that you see him online is he's this way all the time. Like we had him and Shekinah over for dinner a couple weeks ago, and it's just like my mom loves him because he's just so unapologetically himself. So there you go.
Yes, I feel like everybody should be unapologetically themselves. I feel like that'll create a better society. I hate around eggshells, a bunch of people scared to say stuff.
Yeah, what if they're dumb?
Well, most people are dumb. Though.
Most people are. I mean, that's what we've realized. I think that's why we talk about how universal voting rights were a mistake because most people were dumb.
Yes, most people are dumb. I wouldn't mind if we go back to people that have businesses and land. Those be the people that vote.
Yeah, so that's actually a good question. What should it take to vote? We've talked about a basic civics test, but do you think that people need to own land or own property in order to vote?
Yeah, not even only that. I think it should be that or own a business. Because those are the people that really, truly know what happens with your taxes and things of that nature. I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Do you think it should be 18 and up or you think it should be 21 and up?
I just think if you own a business, if you're 16 and own a business, you got to run them taxes. Wow. I mean, you know more than 90% of Americans already.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
What about if you mix that with an aptitude test? But I mean, aptitude tests can be skewed in any way you want them to.
I would be happier with just a civics test, a basic civics test to see if someone understands how the government works. If they know the three branches of the government.
Yeah, and age would seem arbitrary, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't want 16-year-olds to vote because, their brains aren't fully developed yet. I hate that argument. I hear it all the time. You can talk to a 16-year-old and you can tell pretty quickly if he's intelligent or not. And then I would base my decision.
I mean, if we're going by the brains not developed thing, people's brains don't fully develop until we're 27 years old.
Yeah, my daddy uses that all the time.
Does he? Speaking of his dad, have you? No, you haven't met his dad. I don't know why you.
Where would that have happened?
I'm trying to think of all of
This is my second time meeting him.
Oh, well, we have to have his dad on the show. His dad
really?
is
What?
So funny. I understand Bryson so much more after I met your dad.
Is your dad like old school Groiper?
No, my daddy, he is old school, but my daddy crazy, And he's so the similarity between my dads, we don't care. So we'll say what we'll say anywhere. That's just how it goes. My whole family like that. My entire family is like that. We just say, she's been to one of my family gatherings. It's just sort of chaotic, but in a fun way.
Okay.
It's total chaos. It's just chaos. His mom is so sweet. She's like, your mom's not... Stop it. Your mom is so sweet. Shekinah's laughing over there too. No, I love you. I don't care what Bryson says. Every time I see his parents, I ask them, do you guys have a favorite child? Because you have 3 siblings?
Yeah.
So I always ask them, I'm like, who's your favorite kid? And neither of them will ever answer me. But I know there's an answer.
There's definitely an answer. They can stop the cap.
He thinks he's mama's favorite, but...
Well, see, it depends. Because my sister was the most obedient. Obviously, my older brother, he's the most sympathetic, but he's sort of similar to me. Our personality is just out there. But he's actually very sympathetic. He cry at funerals, and I find that so odd. Well, that might not be odd to normal people.
When's the last time you cried?
I don't cry.
You don't cry ever?
No.
Do you think it's wrong for men to cry? Full stop.
I don't know how to explain it.
because Matt Walsh has a rule book. I think there's only 3 things, when your child is born, on your wedding day, and at a funeral.
So if you talk to my dad, he thinks I have the emotions of a serial killer. He said my dad don't remember me ever crying. So, and we was just on live talking about this. I called my dad. Because my dad, people thought I was joking. No, my daddy will say that on live. That he think I have the emotions of a serial killer. But
do you not remember the last time you cried?
I don't cry. I know that for
Shekinah, do you try to make him cry? Shekinah's here, everybody. She's not on camera, but she's here. She's going to be on the show eventually as well.
I don't cry. Period.
Okay.
Funerals, nothing.
What would she do that would make him cry?
I don't know. If I had, if my husband or if my partner like just never cried, I would like try to make him cry somehow.
What would you do though?
I don't know. It's a good question because it would have to be something really emotional.
Right.
I don't know.
because here's the thing: if you're trying to make him cry and you do something, let's say to not necessarily like if you're like, hey, I cheat on you, that might bring up a different emotion.
Yeah, that's not crying.
You would have to fake a death of someone. Like, listen, I have
That's
to
what
sit
I was
you down.
thinking.
Then you're evil.
That
Right,
won't. That
exactly.
won't work.
So
though.
That
won't
doesn't
work on you.
I don't cry over death at all.
You don't.
No.
We really shouldn't. We really
I
shouldn't.
mean, that's actually,
when
I
you
was
think
just going
about
to
it.
say, that's actually a good point, especially if someone, if you know that person who died knows Jesus, like they're going home. So there's really like.
Well, I wish it was that, you know what I'm saying, beautiful.
Right.
But it's not. So,
It's not that. Okay.
No,
all
I'll
right.
be honest. So I try to view everything in a rational point of view. So like, let's say if somebody get into a kid that's like 16, 17, get into a wreck and die. I do think that's sad. I'm still not gonna cry. But let's say if you have like a family member that was like a drug addict and they continued on being a drug addict and they didn't want to stop and they die. I mean, you made your decision and you did what you wanted to do, so you got what you got. So I mean, the way I view life is just, I view life differently, and I do view it as like, especially when somebody is older and they die, I'm like, especially if they was like a God-fearing person, I'm like, yo, you going to where I want to be at? Shoot,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
It's lit. I don't know. I just don't. I just view life differently, I guess.
Interesting.
Can we push the hypothetical? What if it's someone who's very close to you and dies in a tragic sort of way?
What if
like
Shekinah
killed in
dies?
a?
It'd be sad. So sad.
I think he would cry if you
but
died.
Are we confusing being overcome with emotion and physical tears? Because I don't think someone necessarily has to show physical tears in order to be completely wrecked.
No, I know that's true, but
That's
I
what
would
I'm
like to
saying.
see physical
Things
tears.
do be sad, and I'd be like, yo, that is crazy.
I just want to collapse Gina's whole
But
premise.
I just
I
don't
just wanna
cry.
see him
onto
cry.
itself.
I'm telling you.
Keep on putting fruits and desserts.
One time, my daddy, so fun fact about my father, he's the only one of his siblings that's still alive. Yep. My daddy grew up exactly how, you know how all the conservatives talk about the way black people grow up? That is my daddy 100%. He grew up for real, broke, Section 8, government cheese. Yeah. Mama only. And then he
No
had...
dad.
Huh?
No dad. His dad wasn't around.
Nah, his dad started coming around later, but his dad didn't raise him. You know what I'm saying? At all. So my dad had two siblings. Both of them, one of my uncles, he was in and out of jail sometime, but then he ended up dying. I forgot which one died first, but then one of my uncles, my other uncle died too. So he's the only sibling that's alive, and his real father also is dead also. So yeah, my daddy is the only sibling, and he's the only one that did. My dad has never touched a drug in his life. My daddy never did crimes. He literally grew up to be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? But he's the only sibling left. And one time, you know what I'm saying, I tried to console him, and my daddy actually went from crying to laughing. He said, "Son, this ain't you." He was saying, "This not your vibe. You just not good at this." So he just started laughing at me. That's how crazy it is. And he was super sad and ended up laughing.
Wow. So you're not the person to console others.
Now, I think I get the best advice, though. So I had a homegirl who was at our house. She was crying because something happened. And I said, you tough. You tougher than that. You gonna get through it, gonna get over it. And then I feel like her and Shekinah started laughing too. But I'm like, what kind of better advice can you get than that?
Well, your little brother calls you sometimes for advice when he's like in a bad place, right?
Yeah, I tell him to give him the same advice every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, same advice every time.
Probably because he knows he needs to hear it.
Yeah. See, everybody says, oh, Bryson don't give good advice or Bryson is not sympathetic or whatever. But people need that real advice. I think deep down people want that real advice. Because if you didn't want it, you wouldn't hit me up. You wouldn't come ask me the questions. Deep down, everybody needs that tough, you know what I'm saying? Get you
Tough
going.
love.
Yeah,
Tough
but
love?
the amount of people who follow up on the good advice that is given to them is very rare.
That's
people
true.
always want to be told what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Even if like let's suppose it's a breakup, right? I call you, I say, "Oh my God, I broke up," so blah blah blah, and you're just like, "Listen, you know, I told you before. This was probably going in a bad way. You should have ended it a while ago, but you didn't. You kept going. You didn't listen to me." And they're like, you're right. Yeah. So people don't
listen.
The long and short of that rambling, whatever that was, is that people want to be told what they want to hear, and when they don't get told what they want to hear, it doesn't matter anyway. So my advice is lost on people all the time. So I've stopped giving general advice.
See, I give advice in the moment. So I'm gonna tell you it's stupid right then and there. Even if everybody will tell you it's not stupid, I'm like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah, and then
that is stupid.
A year later, they didn't heed the advice, and then you say to yourself, me giving you that advice was dumb. That's been my experience. I've never spoken to anybody, and I've also done the same. I've had friends give me really good advice, and then a year later, I was like,
should have listened.
Should have listened.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because people are going to do what they're going to do.
Well, in most cases, yes, but sometimes my friends be like, well, yeah, that is kind of dumb. So I think a lot of times when emotions are heightened, you lose track of the rationality. So you lose track of what's logical, what's actually a good decision, and you're making a decision based off, well, this is how I feel in the moment, and that's when all the stupidest decisions are made. How you feel in the moment. Those are always when the dumbest decisions are made. Is the how I feel in the moment decisions. Yeah. So if most people, if you keep on doing decisions like that, then you'll. So that's why I tell people off the rip. I'm like, yo, honestly, that's dumb. And see, you know.
Do they listen to you? Anybody listen to you when you say that?
Yeah, people listen.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
right.
people listen. Because here's the thing with me, I've been like sort of in the music industry. Like I've made a lot of mistakes, but see, I don't only have to learn from my mistakes. I can learn from other people too. Mm-hmm. Like if I see you doing something and it goes bad 3 times in a row, then I don't need to go do it. Mm-hmm. I don't have to go do it for me to know it's dumb.
Yeah. Well, my mom actually always gave me that advice. She always says, you don't have to make mistakes. You can learn from other people's mistakes. She always told me that.
Yes.
She would always use the teen pregnancy thing to scare me. Learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. Why not? If you learn from other people's mistakes, it'll make you smarter. Now, some advice I don't take because I don't believe in it. So like I have family members that tell me like, if I took all advice, I wouldn't be here right now in this chair having this interview.
Like what? Like what kind of advice?
Like, I mean, people were saying, when I started on Facebook, when I started coming out with my belief system on Facebook, family was saying, bro, you messing up your music career. Because I had songs on the radio. Like people think, oh, I just happen to have success with music. I'm a grifter. Please look me up. I performed at 50 Cent, 2 Chainz, everybody you name. I performed with all these people.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I had songs on the radio. I was popular on YouTube before YouTube. Being popular on YouTube was the thing to do. I made a song about McDonald's when I was in 10th grade that went viral on the internet. Like, I've been. Yeah.
What about McDonald's? You made a song about McDonald's that went viral?
Yeah, I did when I was like 16. So this was back when YouTube was first starting and like getting like 20,000 views. It was my rap group called 336 Boys. It was having 336 Boys, Mickey D's. I think ours got deleted some type of way, but other people uploaded it. Like that's how you know a song is viral, when other people start uploading it. Has no, I don't even know who those people are that uploaded it to YouTube. It was having 336 Boys, Mickey D's.
I'm gonna put the link. I'll find it and I'll put a link in the description to it.
I'm looking for it.
Did you type in 336 Boys?
336 Boys. Oh, what is it? Oh, yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to you, and then you can put the link up.
Yeah. I'll put it in the description.
Okay, so they told you to be quiet, or else your music career was gonna die.
Yeah, because I had songs on the radio. So it was real advice because the Trump stuff not making no money. It was just me doing it because I didn't know who people thought they were talking to. Saying I can't wear no MAGA hat. Sometimes I be like so like confuzzled about who people be talking to. For real.
Because if you guys don't know Bryson, one of his things was that he had the huge MAGA hat, like it was like out to here, and then he had the bucket hat thing going for a while too.
Yeah, so the bucket hat was because I got bored of the big hat, and the big hat I was doing before I even went viral. It wasn't to go viral. It's because people in my city was getting mad because I was wearing a regular MAGA hat, and I don't like. I'm thinking like, are y'all confused? I'm still the same person, so I started walking around everywhere with the big MAGA hat to prove a point, because like. People just send me threats. Not the threats you get on the internet from strangers. No. People that know me, know where my parents stay, that know everything, they just send me threats. And I'm like, you run up on me, what? You want to fight? You want to get shot? I mean, like, which one is this going to end up? So I started walking around with the big hat. Like what? What?
Do you still have the big hat? Of course you do. You still have it at
of course
home.
I do. I have a few of them. And then I wore it to a rally, and everybody liked it. It was kind of boring. The first rally that Trump hosted me at, my homie Osiga begged me to go to this rally. I said no because people gonna like it there. That's not the point. Like that's like I looked at it as like a clown show. Like
right,
wear a big hat to a Trump rally. Like they're gonna like it there. That's not proving no point. That's not cool. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then he asked me like 100 times, and I was like, all right, bro. It's like you gotta wear the hat. I said, all right, bro. And then I went. And then that's when they interviewed me and Trump posted me, and that's when I went viral.
Right.
Off of something I didn't even want to go to.
What's your biggest song so far? It's gotten the most downloads.
Oh, definitely. Oh, okay. It's between Trump is your president or Let's Go Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my mom's favorite songs is Trump is your president.
Yeah, Trump is your president was nuts. Like Let's Go Brandon probably has more sales because it was a trend. So it lasted for like 3 months, and then it's not getting that many sales now. Trump is your president kept getting like Trump is your president was going crazy for like a year and a half, 2 years straight. So it was like over 100,000 people did a TikTok to it.
Are you performing a lot these days?
Yeah. I travel.
And you only drive, you never fly.
No fly.
Because you haven't. When's the last time? Have you ever worn a mask?
I used to wear a mask when I first started, and then I found myself posting on social media. Not only me, a lot of influencers are posting on social media, stop wearing masks, and then we'll all get on the planes to go perform or speak somewhere, put the mask on for that plane. Then we'll get on Twitter, stop wearing the mask. And I was like, this is kind of corny. And then like the way we got treated, the way me and Skyna got treated on flights was crazy. And like, I always got gear on or something. The way we got treated was crazy. So I said, I don't want to give y'all my money anyway. Screw y'all. We driving. The day I said I'm never wearing a mask again, I haven't wear a mask since.
So you guys drive a lot. I mean, on average, how far do you drive to do shows?
It really is just all over the place. The furthest we drove was Arizona, which is 24 hours there, 24 hours back. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys switch off driving? Just so you drive?
On the way there.
Yeah, rarely. The only time I switch out driving is if we have to be somewhere at a certain time. I'm not about to risk my life and other people's lives. So I'll switch over. But most of the time, I'm not nobody switching. I'm driving.
Please tell me you're not drinking those energy drinks still.
I rarely do it. Red Bull and stuff. But sometimes if I feel like I'm getting sleepy, I'll take like a little sip of 5 Hour Energy.
Okay.
5 Hour Energy is more natural than like Red Bull and stuff though.
I can't believe you drive that far. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys listen to music or podcasts in the car?
All over the place. I'm all over the place.
Both.
I like learning, so I'm probably learning how to do something.
I'm terrible on road trips because I just fall asleep. I'm terrible. My
She
husband
kind of
hates
falls
it.
asleep on me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, any moving vehicle, I will fall asleep. But I fall asleep on the plane before we actually take off.
Bro, my tooth.
Every time.
Have y'all ever had tooth pain?
Sure.
It's worse than getting shot. I mean, tooth pain.
I've
No.
never had bad
I've also
tooth
never
pain.
been shot, so I can't.
No, I've never been shot either, but I
can't
already
compare
know.
them.
I ain't even got to ask. If you ask somebody that been shot, they'll say tooth pain is worse. So my tooth pain was so bad. We went to the doctor. They tried to tell me to put a mask on at the dentist. I left. I walked out with the pain.
That's right. I remember. I think you tweeted about that or something. I remember. Did you ever get your tooth fixed?
Well, we ended up finding a place 3 hours away. We drove. That didn't require a mask. And then what's funny is, listen, they couldn't even do what I needed to do. So, like, you know what I'm saying? They gave me some amoxicillin and it stopped the pain. But obviously I needed refills. My tooth back starting to hurt a little bit. But
Why don't you get it fixed?
I tried.
He doesn't want to. He won't wear a mask.
Yeah, I'm not wearing no
So
mask.
he won't go to any office and get his
Period.
tooth fixed if they ask to wear a
I don't
mask.
care what it's for. I'm not wearing no mask.
Hey,
Screw these people.
sticking to your principles is fine. I respect it, but I'm worried about your tooth.
Yeah.
Me too, because it hurt. But nah.
Do you want to do questions? Should we get into questions? And then
I don't care.
Let's do questions first. and then
I'm going to keep a little bit more quiet
on this
during
one.
these things now.
Why? Is it because people
No,
say we
not
talk
on this
too much?
one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Why people say we talk too much?
I guess.
Yeah, some people, we've gotten some comments were like, Mike talks too much, Gina talks too much, let the guests talk. I'm like,
Well, the thing
Never
is,
listen
if
to the
you've ever
comments.
felt this way and you're watching
Yeah,
this
never
video
listen to
now, fuck you, number one. Number two, this is our show. It's not yours. No, because it pisses me off. So switch it off. Gina's like, what are you doing? You're telling people not to watch our show.
I
That's
just
exactly what I'm
let
doing.
Mike do his thing.
Anyway.
That's what I learned at this point.
No. Because what I hate is, you can obviously tell I've been like wanting to say something. Bryson didn't come here for an interview. Okay.
Exactly.
He came here to chill, to hang out and talk.
Boom.
If this were an interview, it'd be a little bit different. Obviously, I wouldn't interject as much. But because we're just hanging out,
We're having a conversation.
we're having a conversation.
There you
Right.
Yes.
go.
Also, about the Gavin episode, I feel like we barely talked in the Gavin episode. That's the one where people were like, you need to let Gavin talk.
Wait, how was that?
I mean,
was fine.
I thought it was great. I
Like,
mean,
was he savage?
he actually was really chill. Because I was telling Mike, I was like slightly terrified of him because he is uber savage. He's
Yeah.
like, the dad Savage. You know, he's like the OG Savage. But
There
he
was no Savage moments?
He was really chill. I mean,
There,
it was
there,
more
there
like,
were a couple.
was a couple.
Thanks for watching our show. No, there were a couple, and a lot of what people have to realize is that when you get Gavin in a conversation, the way he had the conversation on our show was how he would talk to you if he was in a bar with you. He wasn't on his show. He wasn't doing any sort of performance, which he really doesn't do anyway. But obviously, he kicks it up a notch or two for his show.
Right.
But here, I mean,
was just chilling.
Yeah, there were some good Gavin takes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was really chill. I mean,
gotta
a lot
watch
of it
it.
was just really funny. But yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't the Savage that I kind of
That's
expected.
cool.
Okay, so
Yeah,
here's
ask Bryson some questions.
how did you meet Nick Fuentes?
What's funny is me and Nick Fuentes, we wasn't beefing at first, but me and the Gorbers didn't like each other at first.
Oh, really?
So, like, when I tell you the story, it's so interesting.
Why is it because you're black?
Can you
Nah.
hold on? Can you preface the story because I wanted to ask you this, and just anybody before we actually. Probably should have asked John this, but what can you explain to people who don't know, and even me, because I feel like I'm a new age boomer. What is a groiper?
A Groiper is people that's just involved with the America First movement, usually supporters of Nick Fuentes. I mean, that's basically what it is right there. And they created a name for themselves called Groipers. They had the Groiper Wars. So what's funny is how I met Nick, how all of this started is, you know, I was with all the TPUSA stuff, right? So I was sort of believing what they were saying about Nick because it was so many people saying it. I'm like, it has to have some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this and this and this. So then this is so interesting. This is why all the rumors about me are fake, false, phony. I defended Rob Smith at a Charlie Kirk event. Because they were saying you can't be gay conservative. And I defended him. I said it's a difference between being politically conservative and overall generally conservative. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so interesting about this whole thing. So then me and the Groipers got into it. So I saw Nick, I think, was it Trump Hotel? I forgot when it was. And me, I'm not the type of person, I'm not going to go yell at you, call you racist, nothing like that. I'm going to go try to have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? So I went and talked to Nick, and he seemed like cool. Like, he seemed cool. So then I started watching his stuff, and I'm like, yo, he's based. you know what I'm saying? And then what made it worse is Rob Smith embarrassing. Everybody was calling me like, you should have defended Rob Smith. I'm like, Rob Smith never said he was a Christian or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we good. The next thing you know, my boy went live and said, I am a Christian and I go to the church with my, you know, the H word. I can't say it in this context, but HUSBAND. He said, I go to church with my person, and then I got like 4 or 5 calls back to back. We told you. I said, I just shook my head, boy. I said, I am never defending nobody gay again. But yeah, so that happened. That I met him, and then over the internet, I just started supporting him because I'm like, I started defending him because it's like y'all really taking things out of context, and it's like some of it is jokes. Like, why are you mad at jokes? I don't care how offensive you think the joke is. Who cares?
Yeah, we have yet to meet Nick, but I think we will soon in the future.
He is so nice, bro. He like out of everybody I meet, bro, he is like one of the nicest people in this movement I meet, and it seems genuine when you meet him. You know how other people, you meet somebody, and sometimes people might be nice to you because of who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Nick is just
It's
like
real. Yeah.
So would the classification of a white identitarian or a white supremacist be totally unfounded, knowing Nick?
Honestly, even just from the internet, people conflate things because they don't know.
Right.
So if you actually talk to a neo-Nazi, you know a neo-Nazi is different from a KKK member. KKK member are the country white folk who really are probably low IQ. That don't really know much. But so you might not know that if you talk to a neo-Nazi, they're actually kind of smart. And they hate Nick Fuentes.
Right.
If you talk to a neo-Nazi, they cannot stand Nick Fuentes. They think he is a grifter. They think he's a traitor to the white race. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people try to pit Nick, or another word for him is wignats. So if you see Nick Fuentes, wignats.
Wait, say that again. What is it?
Wignats.
Wignats.
Yeah, stand for, like, if I'm not mistaken, it's short for white nationalists.
Okay.
But they go back and forth with Nick Fuentes all the time.
Yeah.
They beef. You know what I'm saying? And even though Nick Fuentes, I guess has pride in his race, he want to preserve the white race because he think the white race built this country. I mean, that may sound bad, but is it a lie?
Do you think he's more of a Western chauvinist than maybe like? because that's what Gavin is like. Western chauvinism is believing that the West is the best. Modern civilization is due to the Western civilization.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I've never watched any of his live streams. I would like to, because I think the only things I've really watched of Nick are filtered through other platforms. And the thing about Nick, so there was this Twitter account that got deplatformed called Nick Fuentes out of context. I told you about it, but they got deplatformed before I could send it to you.
Okay.
It honestly one of my favorite Twitter accounts, because it was just Nick out of context, like 10 to 30 second clips of him doing his live stream. And it was a riot. It was so funny. I used to sit there and binge and watch like 10 of these little videos in a row. There was this one really funny one where he was playing, I think I told you about this one. He was playing footage of one of the George Floyd riots, right? And it was like all these people looting the stores, right? And they were burning down businesses. And he was watching all the people in the chaos. And you could see him in the corner of it. He was like, black, 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 Hispanic, black, black. And it was just 10 seconds of that, and it was so funny to me. And but it's interesting to me how conservatives hate him. They absolutely hate him, and I'm kind of curious about him because of that. Because I mean, I've honestly never seen anything that he said that is actually whatever the words are, white nationalist, racist, whatever. I'm kind of intrigued by the kid. I don't know. He seems smart.
I think conservatives, when you say conservatives hate him, I think they're influenced by people who aren't conservatives, that say this is someone who you should not like based on anything either out of context or in context of what he says. And these are the same people who, it's kind of like libertarians when they talk about marijuana. Like, why do you want marijuana decriminalized, or why do you want prostitution to be made legal or whatever? And it's just always used to like sort of get along with people in a way. Like, look at me, like I'm cool too. Like I can be open-minded and I can understand. Anyway, I think people who are like Nick Fuentes is bad. It's not only conservatives who are saying it, but they're being influenced by liberals, leftists, and they are convinced that he's bad.
Right. There was a really...
Did that make any sense? I don't think that made any sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
Am I having a stroke?
Because I think... You're not having a stroke. Okay. I think a lot of conservatives have never actually watched Nick unfiltered. So that's probably why they come up with these assumptions. But there was a really... I'm almost done with it. I'm halfway through with it. He did an interview with Milo about 2 years ago, and it's really good. It's really, really good. He's very engaging. He's very thoughtful. You can tell that he's thought through a lot of the things that he says, and they're funny together because Milo kind of takes the piss out of him and he jokes with them, and it's just really funny. But I don't know. There's another Nick Fuentes moment that
we invited you here.
I thought, we're talking about Nick because we talk about Nick every time we hang
talk
out.
about Nick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Off camera too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe I brought this up to you when you were over for dinner. He was on Elijah Schaefer's show. We've talked about this many times, and I think Sydney was asking him, well, have you ever had a relationship with a woman? How would you, I just find it so interesting that you're talking about the worth of women and women when you've never had a relationship. And I'm like, and all the conservatives were sharing this clip like, oh, she got him. Oh, Nick Fuentes got owned. And I'm like, how? That I actually, watching that clip, if I hadn't read any comments about that, I would have definitely looked at Nick and been like, he had the upper hand in this conversation because he looked straight at her. He was like, I'm having an interaction with a woman now.
Right now. And it
was
hilarious.
And it's like, what? Okay, so a guy has to be either married or date a lot of women or have a girlfriend in order to have any opinions about women. That's ludicrous. It's like saying that I can't say anything about abortion unless I've had an abortion.
It's silly. But really what it is, I think conservatives, I feel like conservatives, and I fell into this trap too. I feel like they've created this stigma like conservatives are not sensitive and the left is sensitive. When really they're all a bunch of snowflakes. And I feel like people like me, people like Nick Fuentes, if we haven't proven that conservatives are a bunch of snowflakes, then you're delusional. Because he made, like, a lot of people don't like Nick because of some of the jokes he makes about Jews or Israel and stuff like that. And then people like, this is a terrible human will do this. What, make a joke? What? Can he not make a joke? Oh, no. It's cool to make jokes. It's cool to talk about liberals all day. It's cool to say the worst things about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or about Joe Biden or about things like that. But you better not do that same thing when it comes to Israel. And I keep the Sabbath.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep the Sabbath and all, but like, bro, like, people don't understand how to have different views. And I feel like that's what leads people like, you don't even want to talk to Nick Fuentes. Like a lot of people are like, I wouldn't even talk to him. I just punch him in his face when I see him.
They won't even have an interview
No,
with
they
him.
won't.
Like they won't even sit down with him. I'm like, why? If you really disagree with so much of what he's saying, then why wouldn't you talk to him?
Yes, like I said, I had a conversation. It got banned on YouTube within 30 minutes. Like a year and a half ago with an actual neo-Nazi. You know what I'm saying? Actual neo-Nazi. We had a conversation. I'm not rude. I'm not trying to curse them out. I'm not doing any of that. Because how can you understand anybody if you don't have a conversation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like how people like people get mad at Nick because he's against interracial dating. I'm not. But
Well,
why not have a different view?
who is Dr. Umar Johnson? He's against interracial marriage and dating
the
too.
Funniest person. Y'all need to get him on the show.
Someone had
funny.
mentioned that.
He's pretty
someone,
funny.
Someone had
I'd
mentioned
love
that.
to.
So no one will really say anything about that because I don't know. But
Killer Mike too.
Killer Mike too.
Killer Mike too.
No
It's
one will
like,
say anything about
it's
that.
okay for them.
But if a white person says something like that, it's
then
automatically a racist. You can't do that anymore. This
Here's
is
an
my
issue.
fundamental problem with conservatives today. Is when we talked about this with Gavin, but when I was doing that book for Milo, there were people, because Milo was effectively my publisher, there were people that I was told were not allowed to be in the book because they didn't want to be associated with them. This is still on the right, and I'm saying this book is history. This book is about people who were influential during an election cycle. I wanted to go as far to feature people on the left as well, because there are two sides. There are two major parties in the U.S., so obviously there were very influential people on either side, but I wanted to focus on the right. But I remember hearing, if you can't feature this person, you can't feature this person, you can't feature this person. And not only that, when I went to reach out to people who I wanted to have in the book, they said, who's publishing it? I said, Milo. They said, we don't want to be involved. And I was like, this is why you guys constantly lose.
Yes.
This is why now shows that people are watching are the fucking ABC Modern Family of conservatism. It's lame. It's confetti. I mean,
Yes.
it brainwashes you for a second because you get caught with like the high production value and people who are optically cool. And then when you find people like Nick Fuentes or when you find people like John Doyle, you're like, oh, this is like the opposite of what I've been kind of trained to enjoy. And now that I enjoy this, people are telling me that I'm racist and sexist now, which is
Yes.
kind of weird. But those same people who are saying that, I feel are, lost anyway. So that doesn't really matter and probably shows that I'm on the right path anyway. But this is like a giant frustration that we're not allowed to have conversations with people. Like
Yeah.
You can't talk to him.
This is why I actually, and we talk about this all the time, I actually have more of a problem with the right now.
I hate.
I'm so sick of it. Like
I'm glad we're talking about this. This is something I wanted to talk about.
Hate
Yeah.
this movement. I'm sorry.
We talk about this all the time off
listen to me.
camera.
There's not much more things in life that I hate more than this movement.
Yeah.
I hate
Specify
it. I hate
which
it.
movement, like which.
Call it whatever you want. The conservative movement. Call it the MAGA. I don't even care what it's called now. This is like I hate it with a passion in my soul because it is so fake. It is worse than the left. At least the left, I know what I know what to expect. Like, you're gonna hate me. I know. Let's get that out the way. You got blue hair. No. But the right hates you just as much. They stop you just as much. That's why you don't see people speaking at certain events, performing at certain events, getting in certain positions, because everything is political, obviously, and positive. Everything is so political and it's so fake. And it's like these people don't even have real views. They don't have real views.
This is the black.
Yeah.
Listen,
Shit.
they don't
I'll
have.
bleep
it
that
out.
out.
No, for real.
The black Regis.
Regis.
Think about it, bro. The same things people get mad at you on the left, they get mad at you on the right now. We just 7 years behind.
Yes.
So like me and the LGBT conservatives be like, oh, Bryce, you're so judgmental. Yeah, I'm judging something that's an abomination in the Bible. What are you talking about? Why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Like, Bryce, you should accept everybody. But then when it comes to like people like Nick Fuentes, like, don't accept him though.
Yeah.
You think I would side with a cross-dressing drag queen over Nick Fuentes?
That's definitely going in the clips.
Yeah.
Bro.
No, well, not only that, I just feel like, the right calls cancel culture bad. Just on its own, cancel culture is bad, but they'll be the first to eat their fucking own.
Yes.
I can't stand it. Listen,
Yeah.
because I thought for a second, because I heard some influential conservative people saying like, listen, cancel culture is right if you're canceling the right people. And I was like, wait a minute. We can't say that cancel culture is wrong. And then 2 months later, change the whole narrative and be like, unless we're canceling the right people. Listen,
Unless it's Nick Fuentes.
well, no, but not even
Yeah.
that. If it's like if you're committing a crime, obviously, but if you're just having a thought or if you're just speaking, and then someone's going to cancel you over that. Listen, I know plenty of people personally that if I told you who are really canceling people, you guys would get your fucking minds blown. But we're not here to do that.
You see, there was an interaction.
Who we exposing today?
There was an interaction between Dave Rubin and Nick Fuentes, I think before Nick got kicked off of Twitter. And like, I met Dave. He's a really nice guy, and I appreciate a lot of the work that he's done. But
I don't.
Nick,
Every time I meet him, he acts like he's never met me. Anyway.
Oh. Well, Nick, I forgot what he tweeted to Dave. And I think he was challenging something that Dave said, or challenging, I don't know, whatever, maybe his homosexuality, whatever. And Dave's response was that something along the lines of, "This kid is such a closet gay. Like, when are you going to come out as gay?"
Oh, that's the argument they always have.
And
You're closeted.
Nick's response was so great. He said 2 words: "Debate me." I loved it because it was like it was the perfect response, because the way that they attack people, this is not even about Nick Fuentes at the end of the day, or about Dave Rubin. The way that conservatives attack people, it's a cactus. People attack people like Nick Fuentes is that they'll say these personal things. Well, you're just a closeted gay, and it's because they don't want to actually debate. They don't want to actually have the conversation. And as soon as Nick said that, I think he got blocked. I think he blocked him.
Listen, I'm sorry. Listen,
he would get fucking destroyed in that debate. There hasn't been anything Dave Rubin has ever said in his life that has made me. Wow, that
Nick
was
Fuentes,
really...
what? Nick Fuentes was destroyed. I find it funny because I get that all the time too. Oh, you're just saying this because you're closeted gay. No, nobody wants to be gay, bro. Not any normal human being. And then listen. The funny thing is, especially I've noticed in this movement, gay males have the same personality traits.
Yeah.
They do the same thing every time you talk to them or when you engage with them. Gay males, even if they claim to be conservative, have the same personality traits. They drama filled, they talk behind your back. Oh, my bad. They're like women. So this is the issue with this entire movement. Because as a conservative, an actual conservative, which means advocating, let me say this. The definition of conservative means to advocate for traditional values. Simple. That's the definition of conservative. Because I saw some pro-black weirdo, what's his name, Amazing Lucas. He couldn't even answer the question on what conservative was. They had a pro-black panel during CPAC.
They think it's like low taxes.
Yeah,
like, that's
no.
conservative.
It means to advocate for traditional values. You know what traditional values is based on the country you're in. So what is considered traditional in your country? Unfortunately for homos, for transgenders, unfortunately for feminists and sexual liberated conservatives, whatever you want to call them, unfortunately. What's traditional in the United States of America is Christian values, because our Constitution wouldn't exist without the Bible. The country wouldn't exist without the Bible. Mm-hmm. People think the American Revolution was only about taxes. No, it was in large part a religious war. Look it up. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So, what conservative means in this country is solely about Christian values, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Well, not unfortunate for me because I'm a Christian, but unfortunate for people like them. So when people like, I don't even want to say no names because I don't know who y'all gonna have on y'all show. I don't want people to think y'all hate nobody. When a lot of these people claim to be conservatives, they're not conservatives. You're libertarian at best, and mainly liberals. Like all of these, like there's some girl that was at a TPUSA event. She's like a self-identified harlot. You know what I'm talking about? What's that girl name?
Maybe.
Well, I think Amir is a good case of this because we said he doesn't, and it's not even publicly, but Amir says my identity isn't as a conservative.
No, as a gay.
As
a gay man.
Okay. So my identity is not as a gay man. Whatever.
And he is.
Right. So that makes sense. But a lot of these people, especially a lot of these people, like someone like a Rob Smith or something like that, like I feel like that whole identity is like, I am a gay American man.
I'm your favorite black gay Republican.
He said that?
What? That's his whole time.
It was his bio. It was in his bio for
a
long
what?
time.
That's his entire life. I'm your favorite black gay. I think he added something to it now, but that's his whole thing.
I know who you want to say. I know whose name.
Just say
it. No, wait, hold on. I know whose name you want to say.
It's like 10. Who you
mean? The main one I want to get on this show.
Who?
And I'll say Christian Walker.
Oh, that's who you're talking about. I don't know if that's who he's talking about.
Oh, now he ain't one of the people I'm talking about, but I cannot. I had to mute him. He's the only person I have. His name is muted on my timeline.
Christian, you're gonna come on the show. We'll talk to you.
Yeah, Christian, come on, have a conversation.
I'll talk
with
to you.
Your boy
The only
too.
reason why I want to talk to you is because I want to know if it's genuine or not. That's my curiosity.
No disrespect to Christian. He doesn't act like that in real life.
Okay.
I don't
know.
know. I think, and I know you disagree with me. I think Christian's a smart dude. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think he has his brand. Yeah. And that's his brand. To be super as gay as you can possibly be. And yeah.
I'm not judging him as a person.
I am.
That's fine. that's fine and that's fair. Because I feel like I don't see it as genuine. What he's doing is what I would consider what a grifter does. And people may say to me, he's been like this his whole life. Not even the gay thing, but he's been like this his whole life. He's known conservative politicians his own life. He's had relationships with these types of people. But it's just the manner in which he is thrust in front of our faces. It doesn't seem genuine to me.
I don't even hate him. So
no, this doesn't come from a place of hate or whatever. But it's almost like he's taking everything that he's ever written and everything that he's ever said straight from a Fox News correspondent's mouth.
No, that's okay, but
you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, that's exactly what he does. People like people like he's smart. Why? Repeat what he just
exactly
the headline.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, when I say he's smart, I'm not saying he's smart because of the things that he says.
You say because marketing.
Yeah, I think that he is smart, and I think that he knows what he's doing. But Christian, you'll come on the show and you can
this is
you'll
weird.
defend
I feel like
your
I'm
own honor.
gossiping.
No, listen. Here's the thing about Christian. He's not even one of the people I was going to bring up as far as trying to cancel me. He was a part of it at first, but I think he got pulled into it.
Yeah.
And Shekinah and somebody else told me he sort of apologized for it. Because when you go to these events, the first thing they say is hate Bryson. These gay people. Yeah, he got pulled in.
No one's gonna hear what she's saying, by the way.
Nobody gonna hear what she's saying, but basically she's agreeing that Christian was just pulled into it, the hate Bryson train.
Yeah.
Because I was just with what's the lesbian girl? What's her name?
Ariel.
Is that her name?
From New York.
The one that we met.
Yeah.
With the tattoos here.
Priscilla or something like that. Her last
I think
name
it's Ariel. Scarcella. Ariel Scarcella. Yeah. I like Ariel.
Yeah. She just met. We took a picture, and people think I just like. Oh, Bryson just hates gay people. I just walk around trying to bully gay people all day. It's not. It's not. Listen, it's not true. As long as you're not a weirdo, bro. Like as long as you're not weird. Ask Amir. Me and Amir have conversations all the time.
Yeah.
You just have to accept that I'm a blunt person.
Right.
The problem with homos is they think I'm only blunt to them. Like, no, I'm blunt to my mama, my daddy, my sister, my uncle, my brother. It ain't just you.
That's the problem. Any of these mainstream conservative companies or think tanks or whatever, they're never going to have a person like you on there now because now one of their objectives is to recruit, I think, young gay youth into the conservative movement.
No, you're 100% right. Like we laugh, but you're really onto something. And I think it's true is that the establishment conservatives that are funded by the rich old white boomers, like they really do have a very specific goal of bringing in young liberals, like pro-life liberals. They live the gay lifestyle. They love the gay culture. They're all LGBT, but they want low taxes and they don't want you to have an abortion. But that doesn't make you conservative. But I think there is a very real agenda to bring all these young people in, so they want to keep out people like Bryson.
Yeah, it doesn't work though, mathematically.
No,
mathematically it can't work.
And that's cool because I'll fuck with those people, talk to them, have conversations with them. But at the very core of conservatism, we are going to butt heads. We are going to have fundamental disagreements.
Right.
So I don't know if I would necessarily consider that person a conservative.
No, I mean
exactly.
They're not. It's not even about conservative. Just from a mathematical standpoint, let's say if your goal as a GOP, which it obviously is now, is to bring more of the socially liberal people. Like the GOP seemed like they gave up on social conservatism. Like we're done with that. So let's try to focus on like what Gina said, the youth that's gay, but they like low taxes, they're economically conservative. The issue with that is mathematically it can't happen. Trump pandered to the homos, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a band. And when you look at the exit polls, it didn't his rise in LGBT vote didn't grow enough. You had the project, the little experiment they did with Big Bruce, you know what I'm saying? They had an experiment with Big Bruce in California. Big Bruce got way less than 1% of the GOP vote. They keep trying these experiments, and I keep telling you it's not gonna work. I'm gonna tell you why. The largest group that votes for the GOP is 80% of Christians vote for the GOP. 80% of white Christians vote for the GOP. So you can say most Christians are lukewarm, which mathematically you'll be correct. But how much of that percent are you willing to use to lose to attempt to gain the LGBT vote?
Right.
Because first off, it's a small population to begin with that you're going for. I mean, 27% of Gen Z, was it 17% of Gen Z identifies a homo? But
No,
I mean,
I think is it
Over
more than 17?
20%.
It's like
Over
over 20.
20%.
Yeah, it's like
it might-
22%.
Yeah, so it's over 20%. So and you think you can reach that, but the problem is you can't. You would have to out left the left, because people that's usually like that, not only do they support gay people, they want kids to be able to be transgenders. They want it to be no genders. They want you to give your kids hormones. So to beat the left in that field, this person in this group usually goes further down. That person probably loves abortion also. So they're probably super feminist also. So now it's about how far the GOP willing to go, because 12 years ago, it was common to be for traditional marriage.
Right.
That was the
Yeah.
norm.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, people think I'm controversial. No, I'm normal.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, we are
yeah.
normal. Everyone,
Yeah.
all of you people who have believed that trans women are real women and that you did not believe this 6 years ago.
Nope.
No, none of you believed this
Nope.
even 10 years ago, but now we're the bigots.
But hey, listen, conservatives don't say it yet. In 7 years, conservatives will be saying trans women are real women.
I'm
because
telling you,
they
yes.
already listen. I know y'all might like this person. Blair White is overly accepted in this community. That is a grown man. That is a boy.
He's right. I mean,
I don't even know Blair's real name. His name is something. Lady MAGA is another person. Oh, they gonna hate me. They might be making videos. Oh my God, Bryson is the African dictator. But
who gives what I am not worried about, is pleasing or, kneeling down in front of any version of conservative, whether they are groypers, whether they are neocons, whether they're TPUSA conservatives. I don't care. I'm going to have anybody on the show. I'm loving having a conversation with you. I might love to have a conversation with Coleman Hughes. I might love to have a conversation. Shit, I would have AOC on the show just to fucking talk to her.
You should
Because I'm like, listen, this isn't a mainstream network. I really want to hear what you say. She's not going to say any real shit, though. She's not going to be like, well, actually, kind of been lying this whole time. I know that's not going to happen, but I'm willing to speak to anybody just because we don't have a specific audience. I guess it would be dumb if we did, because we wouldn't be able to grow or like, quote, make money. But I mean, this is.
But peep this. There's conservatives that literally call Blair White a her.
I know. I mean, I'm guilty that I've said Blair White, she, her before, and it's like
I'm not even talking about as a mistake. I'm not
a
talking about
lie.
just asking. No. There's people doing it to cater to Blair White's like feelings, like they want Blair White to feel like a woman. Like this is happening on the right. I watched it with my own two eyes. I watched Christians get mad at me for saying something about Blair White to the point where they unfollowed me and followed Blair White. I said, "Oh, I don't know who your God is. It's probably Satan."
Well,
but
I mean, it goes back to what you were saying before. I think, especially with what's going on right now, it's a lot easier to pass bills and laws regarding social issues than it is for any sort of tax issues, infrastructure issues. So if you hate taxes, one of those types of conservatives, big whoops. So are all of us, but that's really not what's being pushed in mainstream media and on the Hill. What's being pushed there is social issues, is, what is it? Title IX laws, right? Equality Acts regarding transgender athletes and all this sort of stuff, making abortion legal and stuff like that. So it's great that you don't like taxes.
That's not all the Equality Act is, though. It's actually, I don't know if y'all know, in some countries you can get fined for misgendering people. If you actually read the Equality Act,
Did you say countries?
Yes,
states. New York and California.
What?
Yeah.
New York State, you can be fined up to, I think, $100,000.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any necessarily jail time. Yeah, I think it has to do with private or corporate businesses, or someone check me on this and then put it in the comments.
What?
But I'm pretty sure in New York State and in California, let's say if your boss misgenders you, you can sue them and they are liable.
Yeah, it's here. It's on our soil. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why,
forget Canada and the UK.
Yeah, 100%. This is why we really need to be paying attention to what's happening in New York. I know Mike's got a lot of family in New York. I have a lot of family in New York. I lived in California. Like, what's happening in California and in New York, like, it's on our soil. It's happening.
What?
It's crazy. And I think you said something that nobody wants to admit. In 7 years, we're going to have conservatives standing up and be like, well, trans women are real women, and William Thomas should be able to swim on the women's swim team. It's going to happen, and it's because of the big tent philosophy, because we keep bringing people in. Well, what we should be doing is doubling down on the very things that are going to make our, I don't want to say group, but our side tighter. We need to be kicking out all of these people that aren't actually conservative, because that's going to do us good at the end of the day.
Because if you're going to combat something, you have to offer something different. I gave an analogy. If you have two restaurants beside each other, and one restaurant has its base and another restaurant has its base, a certain type of people that go here, a certain type of person that go here. You start messing up. If one of the restaurants start trying to be a little more like the other restaurant, and they start taking away items off the menu that everybody else used to like to replace it with something more catering to the other people, you're gonna lose people that go to your restaurant. Now that restaurant, that person has to find a new place to go. And the problem with the right is that's what the right is doing. You think you're doing something good by the Big Tent philosophy? No, I'm not in your Big Tent. I'm let you know.
No tent.
I can let you know. I can let you know right now, Bryson Gray. If I see another candidate pandering to the LGBT more, because Trump did it, but if you look at his actual policies that was passed, Trump passed not one pro-LGBT policy, literally not one. Matter of fact, if y'all go look at Big Bruce has stopped supporting Trump because of policies that Trump passed regarding the military, regarding the bathroom, things of that nature. Look up the history. Big Bruce was not a Trump supporter. At first he was, and then he said Trump's policies were anti-LGBT. But Trump did do some pandering. I can let you know Bryson Gray is not supporting anybody who do that pandering. That's why DeSantis, even though he seems very manufactured, and I can't get it out of my mind, it seems too manufactured to me. That Don't Say Gay bill was fire. You know
Wait, what?
The Don't Say Gay bill?
Yeah, I didn't hear much about this. So
wait, I thought you said Gayville.
No, like Don't Say Gay bill. He basically made it illegal for you to teach about gender and all these sexualities in schools.
That's what it was. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, that's base.
That is.
And I love Trump. I don't think Trump has the balls to pass nothing like that.
I don't think he does either.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
He really doesn't. No.
I got a question for you after I read you something that's going to make your head explode. You ready for this?
Yes.
And I'll put it up here. Here we go. Governor Hochul, who's the new governor of New York.
The black dude.
No.
He not.
It's a lady.
This is the woman, right?
White lady.
The
Yeah.
woman.
I think you're thinking about
You're
the
thinking
mayor
Adams.
of New York. Yeah.
The mayor.
Adams,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
This is from November 17, 2021. I put it right there. Governor Hochul signs LGBTQ bill protecting gender pronouns in New York. Ready? She has signed 2 LGBTQ bills expanding gender pronoun protections and helping sex trafficking survivors in New York. Let's see where we can get this to you. As we witness attacks on LGBTQ plus rights and protections around the country, New York is once again declaring that we are a state for all, one where we don't needlessly criminalize victims, and where our trans, gender non-binary, and gender non-conforming communities are affirmed. Yeah, those communities have like 12 people in them. Hochul said in a statement, "My administration is committed to equality and safety for everyone, and New York is able to lead the way because of the work of our tireless advocates." Blah, blah, blah. Let me see the second measure. The second measure signed by Hochul, Bill S5325/A.6193, will require utility companies, municipalities, waterworks corporations, and telephone service providers to allow customers to use their preferred name and pronouns. What happens if you don't? Nobody should suffer the indignity of being dead named, blah, 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 blah.
Dead named.
Hold on. If you... Well, okay, so that's where that article ends, but there is something that is, I guess, protecting quote-unquote proper pronoun use. New York pronoun law. The Gender Expression Non-Discrimination Act is a 2019 New York law which added gender identity and gender expression to the state's human rights and hate crimes laws as protected classes, banned discrimination in employment, housing, and public accommodations based on gender identity and gender expression. So that is the Gender Expression Non-Discrimination Act. That's New York.
We've dead named.
I'm definitely going to end up in the gulag.
Oh, for sure. What's your gulag job?
I don't even know. Hopefully entertainment or something.
I'll cook.
Yeah, cooking not bad. Hopefully they can just let me rap. I'll rap, bro.
There's an article saying
or
that...
I'll like train people, do workouts.
An article from 2016 says, no, New York did not introduce a pronoun law or blah, 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 blah. And then 3 years later it happens.
It's happening on our soil. I mean, this is why I'm not kidding when I say that the trans agenda is maybe one of the top 3 things that we should be paying attention to right now. They want to distract us with everything else, and they want to gaslight us and say, so there was that Sports Illustrated did a cover on William Thomas. I refuse to call him Leah Thomas. And in it, there was a paragraph about how the right wing has become so obsessed with Leah Thomas. And it's like, no, we're not obsessed with him. You just keep shoving him in our faces, and they gaslight us and tell us, oh, well, mind your own business. Why do you care what people do? This is the issue of our culture. This is the issue of the younger generation, and we have to be paying attention to it. And we keep getting distracted. One of the distractions is Ukraine.
Talk about it.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I know we talked about it in the last one, but whatever.
But
anyway, but
I know what he was saying.
Yeah. But so the trans thing it's the number one thing to look out for, especially because they're doing it to our kids. And when you mess with our kids, do not mess with our kids. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm telling you, I asked my daddy. I said, because my sister had a full ride scholarship for track. She went to college on a full ride scholarship
Really?
for track. Yeah, my sister had like records in North Carolina. And I asked my daddy, what if she would have lost out on them scholarships because a grown man, not grown, I guess a teenage man, that claimed to be a woman.
Grew his hair out.
Yeah, grew his hair out, claimed to be a woman, and beat her in the events. Like, what would you do? My dad said he couldn't even like bring up words, because it's like, that's crazy. The fact that I just said that is crazy. What are we talking about?
It's crazy. But here's what's crazier. And it's not even, William Thomas himself is not the craziest one. The people who are really to blame for this, every single parent whose daughter swims on the UPenn swim team, this is your fault. This is all on you, because you send your kids to school and you allow them to swim next to this fucking pervert who swings his penis around the locker room, and the girls complain about it to the school. The school doesn't do anything, and you still allow your children to go swim next to him as if he's some kind of girl. This is why I'm saying, like, the trans people, there will always be wacky weirdos, freaks who try to do something crazy in society. The people who are responsible for unleashing a monster like William Thomas are those moms who allow their daughters to swim next to him.
I gotta go
deeper. Are the
deeper,
parents and all these people who pretend like it's okay. This is your fault.
I gotta go deeper for the blame, because I wrote a blog. I'm gonna find it, and I think I found it one day. I wrote a blog in 2013. About slippery slopes. And I said, yeah.
I think you mentioned this to me.
Yeah, and I think I probably did. 2013. And this is when I viewed myself as, like, in the blog, I said I was a lukewarm Christian. And I said, but the Bible is clear. If y'all allow this to happen, this doesn't go anywhere. And I was just talking about, it wasn't even the LGBT, it was just the LGB at this point. When they started boycotting Chick-fil-A. Because if anybody remembers, the reason the LGBT boycotted Chick-fil-A, not because nobody said anything wrong. All he said was he opposed same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
I remember it was on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you had gay people outside of Chick-fil-A's across the country because somebody disagreed with them. I thought that was crazy. You can just simply disagree with somebody to the point where you go try to destroy a business and it gets supported. I said, if people, then I saw people started getting soft on it. I'm like, y'all get soft on this. Anything. It's just freak. It's wild, wild west at this point. And at that point, I didn't even think the term transgender was a thing. I mean, when I was in high
Back then,
school,
it was tranny or transsexual.
yeah, transgender, transvestite is what I used to call it back in the day. And now look what's happening. Now we're sitting here having a conversation about a grown man swimming on in a woman's sport, because that show wasn't a conversation during this time. It's about slippery slopes. I feel like the real blame is everybody that let it go from the beginning. The slippery slopes are real if you like it or not. Because, you gave the LGBT what they wanted with the same-sex marriage, infringed on what I feel like was biblical values. And in reality, you didn't have to do that. You could have gave them their own thing, and nobody would have really cared.
Yeah, we redefined marriage for them.
Redefined marriage for them. After that point, they became protected class, and now we're sitting here talking about grown men with their penis out swinging and women complaining about it, and they swimming, beating women in their sports, or the MMA person that was beating people up, or now they have to set up losses. Now they gotta like set up things for a man to lose, so it doesn't seem like unfair,
right.
Even though of course it's unfair. Of course it's unfair.
It's cheating.
I'm not even the biggest. I'm 5'10". I'm 228. 99.99% of women, I can beat them up. Duh, with ease. What are we talking about?
I can't even believe this is a conversation. I can't believe
look
it.
how far we've come, but it's because you allow a little bit. Of course, the rest is going to come, because when people you give them an inch, they take them out every time. And I feel like we're seeing the fruits of that currently.
I don't even get it, because I know gender and sex now, they're no longer intertwined,
Yeah,
right? Correct?
That's how they say it.
That's
Yeah.
silly.
Okay, but if they're transitioning, why are they only transitioning from either male to female or female to male? Why are they calling it transgender? If they're saying gender is a spectrum, but they're only transitioning to two sexes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Why aren't they called
And
transsexual?
what do they call the surgery? What's the name of the surgery? What do they call it?
Transgender, yeah.
No,
sex
sexual reassignment.
Not gender reassignment surgery. They call it sex reassignment surgery.
This is okay, because bi is the same thing. It's a binary. I'm bisexual. I'm either attracted to males or attracted to males and females. Non-binary, that doesn't. You see what this is doing to my brain?
What does words mean?
Mike's very confused.
Exactly. So, when can a trans person be considered non-binary? Can you say I'm a trans non-binary male?
I don't know. Probably.
So are you? What does that mean? It's like a game of Uno.
No, I know what it means.
I don't.
I can tell you. It means obviously.
It means you have a fucking mental problem.
There we go. I was about to say somebody is mentally ill. Matter of fact, if you look up why they started changing the definition of gender in the 80s, you'll figure out the people that started that were mentally ill themselves doing experiments with children.
Yes.
Because literally the word gender comes from the word genus, which means birth. The origin of the word gender means birth.
But not even that. The use of the word gender in modern culture goes back to maybe only like the 60s.
Mm-hmm,
Bro, these people, yes, these people are crazy. We letting a bunch of mentally ill people decide what words mean, how we can change words. And listen.
I don't get it. That's why I don't understand why people come at me like, Mike, you can't be that harsh. And I'm like, that's not a... Listen, if I came to you one day and said, I'm an owl, I live up in a tree, and I go hoo-hoo all the time, you'd be like, Mike, you're kind of crazy. But it's not crazy for me to be like, I feel like I should cut my dick off, pull it back, make a vagina, and now I'm a woman. You'd be like,
they're not making a vagina. They're making a scar that you have to deal with for the rest of your life.
Brave. No, but they call it vaginas.
I know. That's what's scary. It's literally a scar you have to deal with for the rest of your life. And you can't reverse that.
I mean, look what happened to Ellen Page, Juno. She's like, I almost feel bad for them, but you can't feel bad for them because
I thought she was cute back in the day.
She was cute, especially when she was Juno. I really liked her. Hold on, I got another good question.
Yeah, we're still asking questions for Bryson.
Oh yeah, let's go.
This is for you, Bryson. I know your stand on homosexuality. Do you have any gay friends?
No. I have gay people that like I'll say what's up to. It's like if I see a mirror, you know what I'm saying? Me and the mirror, we'll chop it up. I mean, why would I have a gay? I don't have nothing in common with a gay person.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, if you're Bryson, why would you feel that you would need to be friends with someone who you're ideologically opposed to? You could be friendly.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being friends with someone and being friendly with somebody.
I'll say I'll say Amir's a friend. We're talking about somebody like I hang with. We're not into the same stuff.
Right. There you go. That was from Rochelle HT.
Okay.
Okay. Here's another one from Joseph X Ramos.
Oh, Joe loves the show. Shout out to Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph.
Always asking questions, always interacting. Thanks, Joe.
We'll send you. I was gonna say we'll send him some free merch, but
no, you gotta pay.
We'll give you a discount. We'll give you an insider discount. How 2%. To fix the rap game that's been incentivized to promote gang and drug culture?
The same way to fix everything. Let me give you some examples. Before I even get to the rap, let me give you some examples. If you don't want the agenda Netflix is pushing out there, then spend your money on PureFlix. And then people say, well, PureFlix isn't as high quality as Netflix. Well, that's because you keep giving your money to Netflix. The only way Netflix is able to shoot these movies is because of subscriptions, the subscription fee that you pay every month. So if you gave that, instead of giving it to them, you gave it to PureFlix, then guess what? PureFlix can have the same quality that Netflix has. Same thing with like people in the gaming community. Twitch obviously bans all conservatives. You want to change that? Well, I don't know. Maybe spend that money on cozy.tv, which is what Nick Fuentes created, by the way. And maybe, just maybe, things can change. So with music, if you want to change the music industry or at least give people an alternative, Let's Go Brandon proved that there's enough people, that enough of us that can actually buy a song on iTunes and compete with the top people. I think on the revenue chart, screw the Billboard chart, even though the Billboard chart was huge. On the song revenue chart that week, Let's Go Brandon was number 21 on the song revenue chart. I mean, that song made more money than Drake, The Weeknd, Ed Sheeran, I mean, that song literally outdid. That's called truly competing. So if you want to really change the music industry and provide an alternative, because the Billboard staff did an article because they had a debate. They were confused, confuzzled. How is this possible? On iTunes, this is not streaming. Who's buying music on iTunes? What is happening right now? They were confused. They did an article about how confused they were. But you know what they said in the article? They said, this is just a one-time thing, though. It's nothing to worry about. They were right. I mean, I've hit Billboard charts with everything I released since then, but not nothing that high to where they have to worry. So if you want to change the music industry, every time a Christian conservative releases a new song, or if you into the conservative that curse in every song, you can buy those too. But to me, that's not changing culture because that's the same culture. But people like me and Tyson James, you want to change culture? Every time we release a song, every time we release an album, buy it. Have it competing with the top people, and then things will change.
There you go. Thank you, Joseph. From Kath Sauer, did you have a red pill moment?
Sort of, but I red pilled myself. Because the GOP is too cringe. None of them could have red pilled me even if they wanted to. So I had to just research. It was honestly because I used to debate on Twitter as a Bernie supporter. I used to get beat in debates because I didn't know what I was talking about. So I started researching with the whole goal of winning debates. So I went to Bernie Sanders' website, like I'm just go here for like 20 minutes, then I'm gonna know what I'm talking about. Boom. And when I read Bernie Sanders' website, I was like, bro, this is the dumbest stuff I've ever read in my life. Like it wasn't no complicated thing because my natural values didn't align. It's just you was raised to be a Democrat, period. In the black community, there's no other if, ands, or buts. You're a Democrat. So my pool of people to like was in one group already. But like socialism sounded gay. He supported the LGBT, which I wasn't with. Supported feminism, which I think is lame. It was like so cringe. And then I looked at Ted Cruz's website and he was talking about traditional marriage and actually mentioning God. And I was like, okay. And then I watched the primaries and Trump wiped the floor with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so it wasn't like one person or one figure that red pilled you.
It was no figure, actually.
Okay. Would you do a song with Ye?
No.
Why not?
He's embarrassing. And Kanye is one of my favorite artists of all time. And when he got on his walk with God, it seemed to be legit. But I was questioning who he was allowing himself around. Then I watched his interview with Drink Champs, talking about how he watched porn and it was so much degenerate stuff. And I'm like, bro, there's a lot of like young Christians looking at Kanye now like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And they looking at you and thinking this is something you can do. That's disgusting. And then, you know what I'm saying? If I give him the benefit of the doubt, it was a high intense moment. He's going through a divorce, yada, 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 whatever. So we went, bought front row tickets to his last concert. I told Shekinah beforehand, it's the last chance I'm giving Kanye.
Yeah.
Are we going to get the Christian Kanye or are we going to get some degenerate human? And we went, and it started off like it was about to be the Christian Kanye. Next thing you know, he brought the Migos out. They're talking about women, whores, sex, drugs.
Really?
Yeah, next thing you know, he brought Marilyn Manson out. Next thing you know, he had Playboy Cardi. Playboy Cardi merch is literally demonic. Like, when I say literally, I'm not saying it as a
joke.
No. If you go to Playboy Cardi merch, it's literally 666. It's literally purposely meant to be evil. Like, I'm going to hell, like stuff like that. It's his merchandise. You had him on your song talking crazy. Then all the other music was about, women, sex, drugs, whores, the same stuff. So yeah, it's disappointing. I wouldn't work with him unless he changed.
So here's, because I wanted to talk about this for a little bit because I think did we speak about it when we first met? No, but I recently watched the documentary, the Genius documentary on Netflix, which I thought was awesome because, like you, huge Kanye fan. Met him a couple times. This was all pre-Yeezus, so it was pretty a consistent sort of Kanye that you got.
I love that album, by the way.
Yeezus, it's probably my favorite one, which is a very contentious
and the most underrated one.
Yeah, I think so. But having seen the whole documentary and then seeing the path to the Sunday services, all that sort of stuff, and I watched the same interview with Drink Champs. And what I always wanted to know was what Shekinah brought up with Marilyn Manson, that sort of imagery. I want to know, what is he trying to say with that? Is he and is still associating himself with people like Playboy Cardi and all that? And I'm wondering, is this a legitimate Christian person who's promoting Christianity, or I mean, who knows? Because you can't really know what he's thinking, and there's even really no way of understanding what he's saying because the dude is on a spectrum like nobody else that I've ever met before. But what I'm wondering is, what's with the sort of duality of man, to pull from sort of Full Metal Jacket, the duality of man? Like, what's with the demonic imagery, but also having a Sunday service, or also releasing a gospel album? Like, what do you think he's trying to achieve? Is he trying to achieve that we're kind of like, which we are, we're all sinners, but I'm going to be the one that's sort
I don't
of
believe
like
in that, by the way, but yeah.
that what, we're all sinners?
Yeah, that's not biblical.
That's
Wait,
that's not biblical?
Say more on that.
This is not in the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible that says we're all sinners. The Bible says everyone has sinned, which means the ED. If you actually read what Jesus said, Jesus actually, I ask biblical questions on Twitter to see what people say. I asked, did Jesus tell you to be perfect? And everybody said, no, Jesus would never say that. No, he would never say that. But it's clear cut in the Bible that he did tell you to be perfect. He actually said, be perfect as his Father in heaven is perfect.
So I just want to interject really quick and tell our listeners that Bryson is someone who is very devoted to the Bible and to Scripture. And last time he came over, we talked in great length about a lot of Scripture. And so when Bryson talks about Scripture, I would encourage you guys too. I really listen because he's in the Word a lot. And so sometimes he says things and I'm like, wait, what? Like last time, you shared some scary verses last time. But wait, keep going on this train of thought.
Wait, hold on. So maybe I'll reform my hypothesis or my question. Not saying that we are all sinners. Okay. So we are all people who have sinned.
Yes.
Right. So is he trying to maybe say, am I going to public? I don't know. Like what would be, do you think, his motivation in associating himself with these people while also trying to portray a Christian lifestyle?
I mean, it's only two options. It's either a struggle or it's a grift. I mean, that's all you can get. And of course, I lean towards more of a struggle because even though Kanye has disappointed me, I still feel like I have a little bit of bias there. You know what I'm saying? I usually never have bias, but it's like, because it very well could just be a struggle. The only problem logically there, though, is when you on a road to Christ, it should be progress.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says when you give your life to Christ, you become a new creation and then the old you has passed away. So if you claim you became a new creation, but you're still being the old you, that means the old you didn't pass away. So you're not with Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd rather people be straight up front rather than, because I know of artists who call themselves Christians, right? Mm-hmm. Publicly.
Yeah.
And you'll probably know who I'm talking about when I say this, but their lyrics will still have things that I remember I asked a friend once who is a major pothead, but also at the same time, very devout Christian. So I would ask him, and I would say, these things don't seem like they align. Can you help me understand this? And he gave sort of a very like liberal Christian answer, like whatever. But the same thing. Can you say that you're a Christian, not even making Christian music, you're making mainstream pop music, but you're still using the word bitches. You're still talking about marijuana. Are you just a complete hypocrite?
Yeah. I mean, there's no question. If you sit here, this is why I used to call myself a lukewarm Christian. I used to talk about God, but then every one of my songs is about getting drunk.
Right.
And the Bible clearly states getting drunk is
right.
Being a drunkard is going to lead you to hell.
Right. And not saying that I'm a Christian rapper now. You're not even saying that.
I used to call myself a Christian though. I used to like, if I show you my old Instagram, I used to use curse words while talking about the Bible, talking about the scriptures. I probably read the Bible like 30 times. But I used to tell somebody the Bible and be like, you need to effing listen to the scripture right here. You know what I'm saying? And it was very like, it was hypocritical. That's just pure hypocrisy, but that's just what it is. People just don't like to admit it.
The problem is that I view this as a 37-year-old male, right? When I think about like 16-year-old kids seeing cool pastors wearing Jordans and like, Fear God shirts and stuff like that, that seems like a hypocritical Christian to me.
Yes. Regardless
of the denomination. Okay, when you come out in extravagant clothing, even if it's just like a plain peach color T-shirt, but you paid $400 for it, it seems like it's sending the wrong message to me. But then I can't judge other people, right? Like you can't be judgmental of other people.
Bryson, you want to answer that?
No, but you know where I'm getting at, right?
Yeah,
like why is this hypocrisy just not even questioned?
So the first thing is that one of the biggest. I made a video on YouTube called "The Biggest Like Myths in the Church," and like. I'm not even judging the people that repeats it because it's just something people like use, but I am judging the people that pushes it. So like even saying things like we're not supposed to judge, yes you are. The Bible actually tells you multiple times to be a righteous judge, and Proverbs says to be a righteous judge. Proverbs 31, a matter of fact, to say that it says the man is supposed to be a righteous judge and to go into what the woman is supposed to be.
Yeah, if I got up and slapped Gina in the face, you would judge that.
Yes, as you should.
Right.
But people get that from Matthew 7. The issue here with Matthew 7
is that the Sermon on the Mount?
It's a part of the Sermon on the Mount, but it's the part people say where the Bible says not to judge at.
Okay.
It's one of the most popular verses. Everybody knows verse 1. Nobody knows verse 2 or verse 3 or verse 4. But you have to remember, first off, this is a translation. A translation from a different language.
Yeah.
And then the people that translated to English wrote it in Old English. So if you just read the first line in so many verses in the Bible, if you, I can argue from the standpoint of any denomination and make you believe that denomination.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bet it kind of saw me. I convinced somebody to be something I don't even agree with one time. As I was doing it as a joke, but the person actually believed it. I'm like, yo, chill. No, I'm joking. It's just so easy. So the first verse in Matthew 7 is it says judge not lest ye be judged.
Right.
It says judge not, right?
I listened to that on the car here.
Yeah, it's clear, isn't it? Judge not.
Anyway, yeah.
It's clear. It's right there. What's there to talk about? I don't read the context. But no, when you finish, if you continue reading it, it's telling you that before you start judging, you got to make sure everybody knows it. Make sure the plank is out of your own eye first. That's what it says. It says then you can judge.
Okay.
So it can't be about just saying you can't judge, period. It's telling you not to judge as a hypocrite. Because if you keep reading, right after that, it tells you literally 12 verses later to judge by the fruit.
So if you're judging someone for watching porn, yet you watch it yourself.
Right. Oh no. If you judge it, if you watch it yourself, hypocrite.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and you gonna be that. And not only that, it's scarier than that. Mm-hmm. Because if you judge it unrighteously like that as a hypocrite, you will be judged the same way you judge others. So if you telling somebody you watching porn that can lead you to hell, and you watching porn, you know what that mean, right?
Yeah.
You're going to hell.
Yeah.
You make an unrighteous judgment is a thing you should never do, bro. If you are, and people do it all the time, bro. People do it to try to, you know what I'm saying? People don't really live like the life of the Bible. It's, you know, people think Bryson's so uptight. No, I just live with the crap I talk about.
Yeah. You try to anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
what's
we tried
that
to.
scripture, Bryson, that we talked about when you were at my house about how if you see someone sinning but you don't say anything?
Ezekiel chapter 3 verses 18 through 19. It clearly states this is a job. It's about the watchman. We're supposed to be watchmen. And it clearly tells you if somebody is living in sin and God already told you they would die in that sin and you don't warn them, their blood is on your hands.
Is there a way for like a contemporary example of that?
Perfect example. Let's say if me and you was hanging out on a regular, right?
Yeah.
You was getting drunk, sleeping with women, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And I'm not warning you ever. I'm living my life as a Christian though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not living my life like you.
Right.
But I'm with you. And I'm not warning you. And you end up in hell because of that. Your blood is on my hands. Because I'm supposed to be a watchman.
Right.
But see, God is such a just God. If you keep reading verse 19, it says, but if you warn that person and they continue in what they're doing,
Yeah.
they're going to it's still going to be crazy for them.
Right.
But you good though.
Yeah,
You good
so like
now.
another example would be like if you know someone who is living the active gay lifestyle or having sex before marriage, and if you don't say anything to them and point out their sin, then their blood is on your hands.
Period.
Really?
Yeah, which
the
is
blame.
like, I mean, these are one of those scary verses that we talked about, but I
Yes.
mean, it really,
What do you mean when you say scary verses?
well, I mean,
Do
that's,
you want other ones? That's what I call them.
yeah,
'Cause-
he's got a whole list of them. We went through
listen,
them.
I could go through them because
Do you mean scary or God-fearing?
No, here I want to explain what I mean by scary verses. Is
Yeah.
that right now, mainstream culture and mainstream conservatism, they really like to adopt a liberal form of Christianity, a progressive Christianity, which I always say is much more dangerous and pervasive than atheism.
Oh, yeah.
And part of this progressive Christianity is don't judge, love everyone, accept everyone the way that Jesus did. Everyone is God's child, so we need to be very loving and accepting and don't judge. This is the kind of progressive popular Christianity that has been pushed, like I said, by mainstream conservatives. So when Bryson and I were talking about scary verses, it's what these people think Christianity is, this progressive version of it. It is not what Jesus laid out for us. It is not by any means. And that's why I always talk about how the word in the gospel has been twisted a lot to serve progressive Christians and to serve a progressive cause that unfortunately a lot of so-called conservatives have adopted.
And then the simple fact that people always in my comments like, you need to be more like Christ. I'm like, have you read? I don't know. I don't know what Jesus people be talking about. Because Jesus in the Bible, in Matthew, it tells you for unrepentant cities, it'd be worse for them than it was for Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what Jesus said out of his own mouth.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Matter of fact, what Jesus said, those that come to be talking about Lord, Lord, he said, I will say, I never knew you, you worker of iniquity. A worker of iniquity is what? A sinner. A person that's living in sin. That's what a worker of iniquity is. You know why Jesus said that? Jesus was going back to Psalm 5:5, which the Bible clearly says God hates workers of iniquity. Not the works of iniquity. God hates the workers of iniquity. And then people be like, oh, no. Then I send them to Malachi chapter 1, verses 2 through 3.
This is a scary
where
one.
God clearly hated Esau. Clearly, he said, I love Jacob and I hated Esau. And then people say that's the Old Testament. Oh, okay, let me take you to Romans then, where Paul tells you again that God loved Jacob and God hated Esau.
I still don't know why, though. Is it because he gave up his birthright?
So I'm going to be honest, and because I still don't think Esau was a terrible person. But I think there's a piece of the puzzle that we missing.
It's got to be.
Can either of you give me an abridged version of this, not story, but who are these people that you're talking about?
Jacob and Esau.
Yes.
Jacob and Esau are the sons of Isaac.
Okay.
And the Bible says the older will serve the younger and things of that nature. But long story short, it just says God hated Esau. He said not only does he hate Esau, he hates the spawn of Esau. It's very crazy, and you try to figure out why.
But what's the story of Jacob and Esau? Tell Mike what the story is.
Okay, so
Yeah, an abridged version.
Yeah,
so
a really
Esau
short.
was a hunter. Jacob was a person that worked in the fields, and he cooked, made porridge and stuff. And the story that's popular that you should know is Esau came and said he was hungry, and then basically Jacob finessed him and said, "Give me your birthright, and I'll give you some food."
Because Esau was born first, but they were twins, right?
Twins.
Esau was born first, and Jacob, and I think the name Jacob actually means this. So Jacob was essentially a brother who was extremely jealous, and he coveted everything that Esau had, and he coveted Esau's birthright.
Yep.
And so there's a phrase in the Bible that says that as Esau was coming out of the womb, Jacob held on to his heel.
Yeah.
And so that's why that's why I'm like, when people name their kid Jacob, I'm like, why would you name your kid Jacob?
But what's funny is Jacob ended up being blessed. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That the most part that freaked me out about the story is even think about it. After Jacob pretty much finessed Esau for his birthright, he ended up finessing him for treasures again with his dad. When his dad was on his deathbed,
right.
Jacob, with the help of his mother, by the way, because Esau was hairy.
Okay.
And Jacob wasn't hairy. So to finesse something from the father, the blessings from Isaac, Jacob put fake hair on his hands.
Because Isaac was blind.
On his arms, because Isaac was blind, put fake hair on his arms. So when Isaac touched him, he would feel like Esau. And then he ended up finessing the blessings from the father. He ended up getting the blessing, and the father blessed him because he finessed.
So Jacob seems like a bad person,
doesn't he?
But why? But you're saying that God has favored Jacob.
Yes,
over Esau.
it's so
And we don't know why.
interesting.
We don't know why.
I'm going to ask my pastor when he comes on.
Yo,
Really?
Listen,
Yeah.
I read the Bible nonstop. Actually, kind of for like 2 days straight. I was reading the Bible specifically to get the answer to that question.
Now, are there any companions to the Bible that you read that help you understand it? Because it's very hard to read the Bible.
Okay,
And just,
I mean, there are extra biblical verses that does explain why God hated Esau, and it makes sense. But I try not to preach from those extra biblical things because people can think it's less credible. But there is extra biblical text that explains to you, and it's very old text that explains to you why Esau was hated.
Well, just in general, like any not Cliff's Notes for the Bible, but just
like the Apocrypha, writers from the Apocrypha. Because if you do keep reading, it said the Bible refers to Esau and talked about how he was like sexually immoral and stuff also. So I'll give you one of the, I would say it's conspiracy theories, but a lot of people that read the extra biblical text can be like, it's not a conspiracy theorist. This is just a text that they left out of the Bible, which is true. I'm just going to call it a conspiracy right now. But it does say that the reason why Esau was so tired from, and why he wanted porridge, it's not because he was like out in the field hunting, it's because he was actually being chased. And he was being he was actually being chased, and people wanted to murder him. And he was actually trying to get away, which is why it was such, because at first I used to think he was a hunter. Why did he need food from Jacob? He was a hunter.
Exactly.
Why did he need food from Jacob? And so that's one of the things he was running, and he was like a very, very bad person, basically. He's also a very bad person. That's what the...
Do you enjoy the book... My favorite book of the Bible, and not my favorite because I don't know it all that well, but one of the things that I used to be not frightened, but more interested in, because there's something about not demonology, but demonic images, especially, you know, in the Catholic world and stuff like, because I was raised Catholic. Mm-hmm. The book of Revelations always frightened me, but I was always so interested in it. And I was wondering what your thoughts on the books of Revelation.
A lot of Christian sects still to this day don't accept the book of Revelation.
Really?
Yeah. So to this day, they don't view it as canon.
So as far as I understand it, the book of Revelation was written by John, right?
Yeah.
And they said that these were visions that he was having while he was
visions, yeah.
exiled, I guess, or not exiled, but just he was on an island somewhere in the Mediterranean. He had these visions, and that, I guess, like the 7-headed demon or whatever happened to represent the 7 heads of different states and kingdoms. I don't remember what it was, but there was the context to it at the time.
You know what's crazy about the book of Revelation? The book of Revelation is so crazy to me because along with Jesus' end time prophecy in Matthew 24, which he was just adding on to Daniel chapter 7, but you can see Revelation. Like when I say see, I ain't talking about reading on the Bible. No. You can close your Bible right now. Matter of fact, toss it, throw it away. Just remember a little bit of Revelation.
And then go out into the world.
You can see Revelation playing. It's the most weirdest thing, bro. Like you can do it with Matthew 24 too, because I just posted it on my Facebook, Matthew 24, because it's so crazy. Y'all know it's a verse about wars or rumors of wars. It talks about, like, you know, the diseases and the viruses, and then it said people would be offended by everything, and it is like so crazy.
And that goes back to the Paul Harvey, if I was the devil kind of
bro, it is so crazy.
Prophecy of the 1960s.
Yeah, like the prophecy is like, bro, like even if you one of those people that don't believe in the Bible, bro, come on. It's crazy.
I almost want to like ditch any sort of political ideology and just kind of focus on that. Yes. Not necessarily Christianity, but just kind of, I don't know, like these traditions that we hold on to. Like I'm almost kind of over with modern day political ideology, even political thinking. Like there are traditional values that I could hold on to and apply it to today's technological world, today's modern world. Does that make any sense? I don't understand why I necessarily have to call myself a conservative to be one, if anything.
You don't. The term has been watered down, really. I still do, because I'm trying to fight for the true definition. But in reality, I mean, screw it, really.
Do you want Trump to run in 2024?
No. The reason why, because people forget he's only, 4 years younger than Biden?
Right.
I don't even, is he even 4? I thought it was just a couple.
Yeah, it might be less than that.
Yeah, he's too old.
Don't get me wrong. Trump obviously has more energy than Biden. Like Trump is obviously older, but he has more energy than a lot of younger people I see. Here go my thing, right? So I sort of don't want him to run, but it's still the back of my mind. I still think DeSantis is manufactured. Okay. And though Trump has annoyed me greatly over the last 2 years, I'm talking about he has annoyed the crap out of me.
Same.
Ugh. It's still like, at least in 2016, even in 2020, Trump doesn't seem manufactured. Like it seems like that's Trump. Like that's who, like with DeSantis, I don't know. It's like something about him just seems, he's doing too much good stuff. He's making too many correct decisions for me. It's like polished.
Take the masks off. You don't have to wear that anymore.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
right.
last thing that he said.
It's like, and I got hype. I tweeted it out, but even after I tweeted it, I was like, why you say that? Like it's too good. Like,
do you feel like he's almost like a Manchurian candidate kind of thing? Like he just hasn't been activated yet. Like he's doing so much good, and you're like, wow, I'm behind this guy. But then there's going to be a moment where this switch gets flipped.
Yes, because it seems too
good to be true.
Makes that many right decisions.
Right.
Oh, let me tell these kids to just take off their masks. Of course we'll love that. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Is that how you really feel? Like it's almost like it's too good to be true.
I don't know. I feel like we got a gift in 2016 and we've utterly blown it.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, because what people don't understand, they think that Trump won because it was a popularity contest and he was some celebrity. He won on policy.
Yes.
He won on policy. He was one of the first politician in a long time to have the guts to talk about immigration.
Yes.
Which is a massive issue that we needed to be talking about. And he ignited a passion in the working class that we hadn't seen in decades. And he won. He had a strong platform. He won on policy. 2020, what was his platform?
I don't know. But not only that, I'm gonna tell you another reason why Trump won that people don't realize. It sounds so simple and people think I'm joking. It's because he talks normal. It's because he talks. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, there's something to that. Yeah.
Because normal people could relate to Trump. Even with me, now that I look back, if I actually look back, I probably aligned more with Ted Cruz policies that I saw on the site. I don't know what he really would have did, but it's Trump. Like even this is when me and my parents. It may seem fun and dandy now. No, we used to get in real life arguments, like they thought I was throwing my entire life away. And my mama, she was watching Trump one day, and she was like, I just watched a Trump speech and it sounded like you on that dang on TV. Yeah. It's like, because he talks normal. He's not, it seems like I'm talking to a friend.
Yeah, he does that very well. Yeah, and it's a huge change from the presidents before, like Obama.
Oh yeah, I'm just so polished and I'm gonna just talk the regular and everything I say sounds so well thought out and I'm obviously reading from a paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And Trump didn't seem like that. It seemed like no script. This is how I feel. What's up?
Yeah.
I feel Trump like a gangster. Trump
and even when he went off, like the speeches, he would always do that. He would say one sentence that was written down for him, and then he would just go off.
Yeah,
then
he was
go
a
back.
loose cannon. Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's like I can trust. That's what it is. I think it's sad. He seemed trustworthy. It's like, this is not a politician. He's not a politician. You remember that's what everybody used to say. This is not your politician. This is your anti-politician.
I wonder if it's maybe a little bit of distrust in DeSantis, because now you say if anyone starts acting like Trump now, it's not genuine. If anyone tries to be sort of non-politician, it's not going to come off as genuine.
That's true. Plus, he sounds like when he talks, he sounds like DeSantis sounds like a hallway monitor. You know the hallway monitors back in the day.
Actually, he's very stiff. Like,
yeah,
you talking about DeSantis?
Yeah, he talks like one of the people that like would have snitched on me in school.
No, Ben Shapiro is the hall monitor.
Oh my goodness, no comment.
Yeah, Daily Wire. If you offer us a show, we're gonna say no. That's our joke. That's our joke.
Yo,
we want the Daily Wire to give us an offer.
Joke.
Yeah.
Yo,
I don't want a show with anybody.
Nah, do it yourself.
No,
Why?
I don't want to show with anybody.
No, yeah, I'm serious.
I want to keep this me and you.
We have to, because I think there's just so many people that get scooped up by the bigger platforms that just they end up getting watered down.
Yes,
you get watered down. You get controlled.
And then you have to be controlled. I mean, there are executives at these companies, and they're doing their job, which is to make sure that you don't say anything that's gonna ruffle too many feathers.
Yep.
But
a lot of people think they have freedom, and
yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I did like what Kanye said about freedom, though.
What he said?
Which is weird, though, because in that 2020 speech that he gave in South Carolina, he says freedom doesn't come from downloading porn. He said freedom doesn't come from a voting booth. He said freedom doesn't come from picking up a gun and shooting somebody at a gas station.
True.
And he was like, freedom is a state of mind, blah, blah, blah. He's like, if anyone tells you to do anything and you do it, you're not free.
Is that when he said slavery is a choice?
No. That was on like a TMZ interview.
Okay.
This is when he was talking about how he almost killed his daughter, how his
I
mother wanted to abort him,
right.
and then Tucker was like, will you ever hear anyone on the right or the left talk about abortion this way?
No. Kanye is right about a lot of what he say. Like, people used to like try to compare me to Kanye, but I think there's a very clear difference between me and Kanye, is that the thing about Kanye is when he says something controversial, he'll say it and mean it and not necessarily backtrack, but he'll disappear. Trump, not Trump, but Kanye would disappear when he's overly attacked. He'll disappear for a year, disappear for this year too. And it's like, if Kanye like stood up more for what he just stood on it, like keep standing on it.
Yeah.
It'd be way more respectful. Like me, like, nah. Yeah, you know Bryson I ain't disappearing either.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm going to where you at to say it again. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it.
I feel you.
I think everybody. I think more people should be like that. Not you ain't got to be as brash as me. I don't think I'm that brash. I think my voice just sounds brash, and I can't change it. Everything I say sounds
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it just sounds disrespectful. It sounds like too rough. I don't think I'm that rough.
The thing is,
why are you laughing, Shekinah?
Well, people, it's very weird, especially going back to people when they're criticizing the show or whatever I do. It's just the thing, growing up in New York, and when the big thing on Long Island that a lot of people don't understand the phrase busting balls. Like, listen, I'm busting your balls. You know what I mean? That's how people talk to each other. So if we're having a conversation, I want to jump into it. Every chance that you stop talking for like a millisecond, I want to jump in. That's just how we are. We just want to be involved in the conversation.
Like a lot of people think, like, I be on live sometimes, and if somebody's like not from the South or didn't grow up in the black community at all, they really think I'll be angry, and I'm like, huh? What?
Oh yeah, you've never been to a barbershop and you've never seen how people talk to each other.
I'm literally, not only am I mad, I am super calm, bro. And they be like, no, you seem angry. Like, what?
You're like, I'm good. I'm chill.
Yeah, but see, so you gotta, like, you really gotta, like, me, like, you met my family, so you already understand. This is how we just talk to each other.
Oh my gosh, that is, it really is.
It really is just how we talk to each other. And if nobody's angry, nobody's mad at any time.
So it's just like this. It's very, this is a very stereotypical thing to say, but black people and magic tricks. You show a group of black people a magic trick, they go off and it's insane. You've blown their mind, they run away.
Yes.
Right. So it's like that regarding like some people thinking that a conversation has gone like way over the top, but it hasn't. It's just the way certain people talk and interact with each other.
It's like their preferred state. Yeah. Like your dad and I were yelling at each other when I met him. Yeah.
It's just how, like, Shekinah, I took Shekinah, I know Shekinah has been culture shocked so many times with me. I took Shekinah to my homeboy cookout. When you see everybody like, hey, what up, boy? Hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Everything is loud, vibrant. You know what I'm saying? It's lit. I mean, that's just how it goes. Even when you have a disagreement, it's loud. You're just talking, but it's like the average person would be like, oh, they really hate each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this is just how it's just really open. Like, I don't know, bro. That's one thing in me. Black community has so many negatives. But one thing about the black community that, like, I feel like everybody needs a little bit of is that sense of, I don't even know what it is. It's like, I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a lack of shyness. I don't really know what it is. When you go to other events and you come to the black community and see how we talk to each other, the reason people like view it as a certain way is because like you're confused. You know, you're confused like, yo, but it's really like it's all out of love. It's fun. Like nobody's super shy. Nobody's walking on eggshells. Like even I feel like that's where my personality come from. The reason I'm so blunt and I don't walk on eggshells because I mean I've never done that. Like who does that?
Yeah.
And, like in high school we used to roast each other with the worst jokes you can ever think of.
Yes.
Like,
we talked about this on a show. We talked about that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, culture, society's changing. I can't change with it. I'm sorry. I can't.
Well, I mean, if we're in the type of society that cancels people based on jokes, you know, it's headed in the wrong direction.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now y'all told me about New York and California. Now I'm just like, dang, I need to prepare.
I know.
Get everything together.
There's a guy that was on Gavin's show. He's a comedian named Mike Ward. He told a joke about a Make-A-Wish kid, and the joke was basically saying something like, this kid's still alive or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he's like, how, you know, he swindled to make a wish. Like that's basically what he got sued and brought in front of the Human Rights Tribunal in Canada. He eventually won the case though, but they will bring you in front of a fucking court for making a joke in Canada. And if you laugh at that and you say that he's over exaggerating, I'm not exaggerating. Look it up. And if you don't think that kind of stuff can come out here, it's already here.
Right, it is.
It's already here. Goodness. It's tiptoeing around. It's ready to plant its foot. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
Do you have any sort of optimism at all?
About the country? Sometimes I do. So, like, perfect example, I was at AFPAC, which is Nick Fuentes' joint, and I was there last year, too, and had like 500 people last year. This year's like 1,200. And
wow.
Not only that, it was a good amount of black people there.
Really?
What?
Wow, interesting.
Not only black people, I saw a few black women there. And I don't know if you met a black woman. That's surprising. So I'm sitting there like,
I have some in my family.
Yeah. I'm sitting there like, yo, so that gives me hope. And then even with stuff like Let's Go Brandon, even though it was a trend, it shows like it's possible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like you see that and you be like, okay, things like this, oh, it's possible. You know, so there are some things that give me hope because I feel like more people are going towards, like a lot of people are starting to see it. Like I get DMs all the time. Like I use that, like people like Bryson, I used to hate how you used to talk about the LGBT community or how you talk about feminism. Sometimes people pull up to my shows. I ain't gonna lie, women pull up to my shows. They come to me. Oh, I'm telling you for real. But this one lady came. We was eating breakfast. This one lady said, Bryson, I gotta tell you something. And she said it just like that. And I was like, I'm about to get cussed out. And then she was like, I was really angry when you said that a boy needs a man in his life. He was like, cause I'm a mother and I'm a single mother and I take care of my sons like that. But he says, you know what? I started taking him to the church, got him around some of the men and the thing. He actually loves it. I had another woman the next day. This is in Arizona. Maybe something in the water out there. But she came and said, Bryson, I couldn't listen to you at all when you used to talk about obese women. Like I deleted your songs. Blah, blah, blah. She was like, but I came here to tell you, I'm with my kids. She said I lost 30 pounds.
Good for her.
And she said part of it because like you sort of like lit a fire into my butt.
I love that.
So it's like, I guess I'm like that all the time. Like there's a dude that was gay and he said my music is part of the reason he left the gay lifestyle.
Really?
Yeah, he had an interview with Milo.
Really?
Yeah, yep. And he said
Bryce's
my
music will turn you straight.
Hey,
The
Ken.
best sort of drop ever.
Yo, that's baby.
He's gonna put that in a song. He's gonna put that soundbite in a song. Now.
I was literally just about to say I'm about to put it in a song. That's gonna be like the beginning of a song.
Yeah.
Whose version of Let's Go Brandon did better?
Mine the only one that went, and I'm not saying this to like throw shots. Mine is
Well, I just know because there are multiple versions.
Yeah,
right.
mine is the one that beat Adele, and mine had the most revenue.
Wait,
it was the highest on the chart.
Adele?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I think the other one, because there was a lot of them did good on like YouTube and other platforms, but me and another guy, me and his actually did good like on like the top 40 Billboard charts.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him do not like each other, but both of ours did good on the top Billboard charts. And
Why can't we just get along?
yeah, you know what it is. You know what I realized, and I used to listen to people say this in songs, and it's like now I'm going through it. When you in a position where you the top person in a certain field, people attack and look for that. So like in me, it's worse for me because people be taking me for granted. So like the dude Loza, before he was anybody, I did a verse for him for free. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then one time he was like, he made a song about Candace, and I remember he used to want me to tag Candace, like tag Candace in this so she could post it. And the reason I didn't do it because I thought it was weird. I'm like, bro, I don't even do that. I was like, I made a song about Candace and I emailed it to him. You have never seen me ask my followers to like go tag Candace.
Sure.
Cause I personally think it's weird. And he was telling me to do it, and I didn't do it. But then he started getting mad at me because he got mad because I didn't. It was something stupid. But it's funny because when the Let's Go Brandon stuff came out, everybody knows the only reason I made a Let's Go Brandon song. I didn't want to do it. I think following trends is cringe. I really do. Mm-hmm. But everybody was like, they wanted a clean version because his had cursing in it. Forgiato Blows had cursing in it. Yeah. Everybody's had cursing. And I was like, people was like, what's the point of making a Let's Go Brandon song with curse words in it? Just say F Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? So people was like, Bryson, we need a clean one. So I made one, which is why I picked Tyson James and Chandler Crump on it. I'm like, I don't even care about this song. So if it blow up, it'd be cool to bring attention to some other artists. And I remember when he was like saying somebody stole the title to his song, and I was like, what? Like I thought it was like the most weirdest thing ever. And I remember he was texting me because he'll text you like long texts. And then he'll send you like voice messages. It's so funny. And then I remember he was texting me. I was like, bro, you know you weren't even the first one to make one. A country singer was. It was like, I don't care to the people. I was the first one. And I was like, I guess so. And he got mad at me. He said, hashtag Loza Train, hashtag #1. Like he was like trying to be disrespectful. And I'm like, bro, I don't even care enough about that song. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was so funny. I didn't post that text. I didn't tell nobody he texted it because I didn't really care about it like that. But when my song like went #1 and passed, it was just hilarious because he got on live and got so angry.
Oof.
This is the infighting nonsense. Like I don't even want to. I almost don't even necessarily want to have a relationship with anybody because I just don't even want to.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's something like because a lot of people be getting mad because they feel like Candace distanced herself from a lot of the influencers, and I tell myself this all the time because I understand. Like I ain't gonna say no names, but people was like using Candace for money to get to places. Then they turned on her. Like a lot of people that turned on Candace, I only know about them because of Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but when enough people turn on you, it's like, bro, screw these people. Like people so I feel Candace, and like me, every time somebody do something to me, I'm like, God, I really be praying. I'm like, I do not want to become the person that's like untouchable, unreachable. But it's like when so many people turn on you, especially that you helped. There's no rapper in this movement. If you hear somebody diss me, go look up their history. I did a song with them for free when they had no followers.
Wow.
Every time. Because to me, it's about culture. I can't change culture by myself. Oh, the power went out. Was that
no,
everything?
that's just the light. That's just the light went out.
light.
You know what that means?
But can I still talk?
Yeah, you can still talk,
But
yeah.
so I just find it interesting because it's like so many people be doing something, people switch up, and I be like, yo, at some point I don't even want to work with people no more. But I never want to become that person. But when it happens like a few times in a row, I'm like, bro, screw y'all.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do any of this. You know what I'm saying? People be so fake in this. Like I said, I hate this movement. It's too many fake people, bro. And you can tell that people are only working with you because they're not working with you because they like you. They're working with you because they feel like they can get a benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't like it because I can't handle stuff like I used to handle it. I can't just slap people. So
No.
you know.
Do we end there?
I think we do.
I think we do. I think once the light goes out, it's like, oh shit.
Wow, we did 2 hours, almost 2 hours.
Oh, it's 2 hours.
Nice.
No, it's great. We'll definitely have you back on, Bryson, because you live here. Shekinah will be on soon too.
Yes.
Bryson, where can everyone find you?
Just type in Bryson Gray anywhere. You feel me? I'm not banned on YouTube, so Bryson Gray. I'm trying to reach 500,000 subs this year. I'm at 211K.
Dang.
Nice.
It's gonna be hard. I don't know if I can get 280,000 subs in a year, but whatever. I'll
Let's
try.
do it. Let's do
do
it.
it.
Yeah, and I promise we'll get continuous light soon.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Next time, I got so much stuff, bro. I would bring stuff, bro. You just let me know.
Gina,
Yeah.
send us out.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like. We forgot to say this in the beginning. Like and subscribe. If you like this episode, send it to a friend. Please share. We love you guys. Bye.